Hey everybody, David Swor here with DJ Cox for another episode of Frenemies. And DJ, we have a legend on here tonight. It's good to have our friend Billy Gerak all the way from New Jersey on tonight.
New Jersey in the house, man. New Jersey in the house.
Hey, some of the best memories I have from Temple were the 2 years that we played baseball together, and I can't wait to get into that, Billy. It's going to be awesome.
Man. Absolutely. I kind of forgot about him. You got to remind me. I mean, I was a great bench warmer back in those days, but I can remember what I did. Just remind me.
We've talked about you several times on the show. So.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You'll have to
really? I thought it was like a name forgotten, man.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Okay. Oh.
Before we jump into that, the week that I've waited on my whole life was this past week. And DJ, as I told you off air, I really wanted to have a mashup of you. All the times you said that these guys wouldn't get traded. I think last week you said the only ones that were going to go were Kimbrell and Kyle Davies, Zach Davies. And so one of those two went, but the rest of the team went along with them. So to add insult to injury, the first Cubs trade that went down was this guy, my boy Anthony Rizzo to the Yankees. And so, DJ, before we break down the trades and all that, I just want you, attaboy Billy.
You got to show off the colors too.
I just want you to walk us through the nightmare that was Thursday and Friday of the trade deadline. I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, this is a little tough. Man, the funny thing about this, I guess you'd say, is David was texting me the entire time, just let me have it. And I was fighting him the whole time, saying nothing's going to happen. And all of a sudden, the day before the trade deadline, which is kind of rare, you don't see very many trades, especially of this magnitude before the deadline, Rizzo goes. And that one caught me off guard. I'm not going to lie to you. Of the three that I thought would possibly go, I thought Bryant was the only one that had a shot of going. And I thought, to be honest with you, none of them were going to go. I just thought Bryant was dangling along there and they were going to use it for negotiations. But when Rizzo went, I started to get on high alert. And my phone started blowing up, man, from every different direction from David. I just couldn't handle it. So I was laying on my couch. And then, of course, the wife, takes a photo of me and sends it to David and, shows exactly what was happening in the moment that was happening. And to make matters worse, he gets traded to the Yankees, David. Yankees.
Oh.
God was shining down on me, Billy. God was shining down.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And DJ, let me just throw this out there again. We're not at the point we need to break down trades yet. But all year you've been making fun of me because I ranked Nicky Madrigal as a top 10 second baseman and left your boy Bodie off the list. And who did the Cubs get in another trade? Nicky Madrigal. And so now it proves that not even the Cubs have any faith in David Bodie. What'd you think about that? Oh, yeah.
Well, listen.
He's rubbing it in, too, with his Yankee bombs, huh?
I love it.
What? Listen, if I can break this up and just let this sink in here.
Chicago will never, ever have to buy a meal there. And now he throws one deep to right field. Go see ya! Yankee home run, and it gives the Yankees.
See that, DJ? You can't mess with the Yankee fans here, man.
Let me just throw this out there,
Unbelievable.
DJ. 4 games, RBIs, all 4 games. Man, the Yankees blogs are already talking about how the Yankees are going to have to figure out a way to sign this dude. Thank you, DJ. Thank you. And again, from a prospect standpoint, like I said, I didn't want to get too far into breaking down these trades, but so it turns out, according to what I read on Fangraphs, the highest rated prospect you guys got was in this trade, but he's 19 years old is the problem. So anyway, I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to use. The experts are saying that this was actually a pretty good trade for you guys. What do you think about it?
No, I'm not a fan of this trade. I'm not really a fan of the Bryant trade at all. The Baez trade, Pete Crow Armstrong, was okay. First round pick from 19 would be pretty good. And to be honest with you, David, of all the trades that we made, the only one that was really like brought something back that I was happy about was Craig Kimbrell to the White Sox, and bringing back the two pieces he brought that are already MLB ready. The rest of those guys, who knows if we'll ever see them. So we literally got rid of 3 superstar players for a bunch of guys who may or may not make it to the show. I don't get it. They completely blew it up. And David, I was trying to think of I'm trying to get in the head of Jed a little bit here and figure this thing out, because we've had a couple days now to let this settle. It was very raw at first. If you would have got me on Friday night, I would have been going nuts. I would have been going crazy. What's going on? The world's coming to an end, all that. There was a lot of emotions those few days, and especially the second day. So it starts off with Tepera goes, Kimbrel goes, and then Baez goes, and Baez caught me off guard too. Well, once those two go, I know that Bryant's gone. However, the deadline literally passes time-wise, and Bryant is still a Cub. But then a couple minutes after the deadline, that paperwork obviously was right on the table, and then a few minutes later gets announced that KB goes to the Giants. And to make this all worse, David, you know better than everybody here that all of my favorite players that got traded to teams that I hate. The Yankees, the Giants, the Mets, the White Sox. Those are like, and then John Lester gets traded to the Cardinals. So I'm just getting gut shot after gut shot all day long. And so I'm sitting here, I'm trying to figure out where the Cubs rank in payroll this year. So if you had a guess, David, where do you think that the 2021 Cubs payroll ranks this year as far as how much they pay out? Very close. They're 12th. That's a very good guess. So 12th at $152 million, compared to the Yankees at $200 million and the Dodgers at $250. So you got that big gap there. The Dodgers are in a class by themselves. We all know that. But you got the Astros, the Mets, the Angels, the Phillies, the Red Sox, Padres, Nationals, Cardinals, Giants, all ahead of the Cubs in payroll. So, David, I'm going to ask you this now because I'm trying to figure this out. So a team that's 12th in payroll has to shed all of its payroll and all the players that they got for what reason? I mean, if we go get 3 more guys that are just like those, are we not going to be in the same spot? Where do we go from here, David? What do you think?
So again, you got to go with the cards that are dealt you. I don't blame them at all for doing what they did. I know it stings. I know it hurts, but you have to understand that these players can still re-sign with the Cubs. So if the Cubs want them back, they can have them. They're going to have to pay a premium for them. They tried to sign Rizzo to an extension, wasn't happening. They tried to sign Baez to an extension, wasn't happening. Apparently, Chris Bryant and the Cubs supposedly hate each other, although Chris Bryant says he would love to come back. So if you're going to lose, why pay these guys for the next 3 months? And the rule of thumb is this. If they offer those guys all qualifying offers, which they probably would have, a qualifying offer means a 1-year, $18 million contract. If they turn that down, they get a 2nd-round draft pick and a 5th-round draft pick. If the prospects that you can get in those trades are better than a 2nd-round draft pick and a 5th-round draft pick, then you got to do it every single time. You're not paying any bonuses on any of those guys. And like I said, if you consider them equal to or better than that, you're getting more out of them. So it makes no sense to continue to be 10 games back and knowing you're going to lose and keep these guys. So where do the Cubs go from here? I'll have to agree with you a little bit, DJ. The returns seemed a little underwhelming to me in some instances. It's obvious to me that Hoyer is planning on winning 2, 3, 4 years down the road. They're not interested in winning next year. At least it doesn't seem that way to me, because they could have got guys that were closer to the show. But that being said, Madrigal's a nice piece. I looked through their top 10 prospects. After giving up all those guys, only 2 of those guys rank in their top 10. Crow Armstrong is one, and then Alcantara from the Yankees, who is 19, is the other. He was rated by Fangraphs as their 2nd best prospect. That's pretty disappointing to me. But again, there was no point in not doing it. There's no point in keeping those guys at this point. It's not going to help them say, well, they kept me for those last 3 months. I guess I'll stay now. It's going to be money. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take money. And if the Cubs want to pay more than everybody else, they can have every single one of those guys back.
That's the problem, is now you've raised the bar, so to speak, as far as how much money you're going to have to pay these guys. So one of the things I really didn't understand about this whole thing either is the relationship with Chris Bryant's broken. There's no way he's coming back. You messed with his time at the beginning there where he got an extra year, taken away a free agency, and then you waited until the exact last second when you brought him all the way to the Washington and had him warming up for the game, and then pulled the last second trade on him for guys I've never even heard of as prospects, who was like the 30th best prospect in the Giants organization. That was the dumbest trade of them all. I think he just knew he had to get rid of him and was desperate because there was nothing else out there, I guess. I don't know. The one thing I did hear recently, and I was really – this made this worse for me, is he didn't pull the trigger with the Rays to go get Tyler Glasnow. If they would have gotten rid of Bryant and Kimbrel, they could have got Tyler Glasnow and a prospect. I think that was stupid. You take a 28-year-old guy who's having Tommy John. He's going to get over that Tommy John and throw better than normal. I don't know why you don't take him and a prospect and get rid of those two. That was disappointing.
I can tell you why. Here's the reason why. They're going to have to pay Glasnow next year $8 million or better for nothing. And then the following year, he's a free agent. That's why you don't do that deal. So you're getting 1 year of Glasnow coming off Tommy John surgery. That's a lottery ticket. Or you can take 6 years of control off of some other lottery ticket. I don't blame him at all for not doing that. Now, what I'll say about the Giants, one thing I read on that prospect that they got, the guy that you're talking about that was 30th, he was a 2020 draftee, so he really hasn't been able to be evaluated. He had dominated single A and double A. He's been pretty dominant, so I wouldn't stick a ton of stock in that, but on paper, it is underwhelming. But we might be talking about 2 or 3 years from now, this was the turning point for the Cubs in a good way. Remember when the Cowboys traded all those players and got all those draft picks and stacked them up in the early 90s, and they ended up getting Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and all those guys that they had? They were basically doing the same thing. So we may look at this at some point and go, okay, this was where they turned it around. But in baseball, it's not as cut and dry. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't blame them at all for doing it. I'll agree on paper, a little bit underwhelming, but, we'll see. Hoyer, to me, again, is planning for like 3 years down the road, and that would be tough to eat that as a Cubs fan, just to say, hey, we're hoping these guys will pan out. I mean, the guys they got last year in the Darvish trade, they were literally like 18 years old, 4 of them. That's just wild to me, but that seems like the route they're wanting to go.
One of the guys I heard on the MLB talking about their prospects and their farm system said that they were 22nd going into this year. After all the trades, including the Darvish one, they moved up to 11th, which I'm not sure at that. I don't know if the dust has settled on this yet. I don't think 2 days is enough to completely reevaluate the entire farm systems of every team and put rankings on them, but he kind of said he was going to throw them in that type of area from here on out, which is good. You went up a little bit. You're up there in the top 15. That's good. But man, this is tough, man. This is really hard on all Cubs fans. After Bryant went, man, that really hurt. And I'm not, that was my favorite player. So this made it tough. And all 3 of them homer in their debut to make it even worse. It's just like unbelievable. Here goes these guys are killing it. And then we get beat by a walk-off homer. We get beat on all kinds, and you're watching the lineup and you're going, and who are these guys? I mean, obviously I know who they are, but most Cub fans are like, what is this? And you got guys coming up now I've never even heard of. And it's a mess right now, man. But Jed's a genius. I will give him that. And you see now why, David, that Theo Epstein took off and left like he did a year before he was supposed to. He knew this was coming. This was planned. If the Cubs faltered and they knew that the deadline, that they had this plan all along. This just didn't just happen. They knew Rizzo, Baez, and Bryant were going to go. If they were out of it, they had this plan. This isn't something he just slept on one night and said, I just think I'll just trade them all. No, this was planned a long time in advance. And unfortunately, we fell out of the race about a month and a half ago after that 10-game road trip. And this is what happened from it. So it's time to completely start over, man. It really is. There's nothing left. You got Wilson Contreras and the gang, I guess you can say. Kyle Hendricks, you can put in there. He's been dominant and awesome like he always is. But other than that, man, wow, it's bad. It's really bad.
Tell Nicole I appreciate the update she was sending me. It was an awesome night. I mean, every text was just spot on. I got some pictures of DJ. Billy, it was worth it. It was worth the wait. It was more than I could have asked for. All those guys going to the wrong teams and also hitting home runs. I mean, it was amazing.
Complete gut shot, man. And boss, I want to ask you for a second here. So the Yankees added Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo to the team. What do you think of that, buddy?
Wait, I'm sorry. Here in Jersey, we got cut off. What?
Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo got to the Yankees. You excited about that?
Oh, absolutely. I think, I'll be honest with you. I'm a big baseball fan, and I was always into all the, every year. But for some reason, this past year with this COVID scam and the pandemic going on, I don't know what it was, but there was no people in the crowd, no people in the seats. And it's kind of like I lost interest. I really did. So getting back to this year, I really I haven't been really following it like I did years in the past. So, I mean, I'll watch it here and there. Like yesterday, I tuned in and I saw Anthony Rizzo, and it was the first time I noticed that the Cubs got rid of him, and I was shocked. And but I heard he's doing really well. He hit that 2 home runs in the last 3 games or so. And by the way, I think they're losing against Baltimore.
Oh
yeah,
oh
yeah. Of all things, Baltimore.
Ooh,
I think they're like 30 games out of first.
The Yankees are kind of closing the gap a little bit. They just swept Miami. They kind of got a favorable schedule here for just a second. Boston and Tampa Bay, I think, have like 10 games against each other left. And so it's a little bit of a golden opportunity, but they got to capitalize on these Baltimore games. I don't know why they give us
Boston is slipping away too. I mean, they were in first for, a while. You know?
And so listen, I am, I guess, one of the few, because the prognosticators aren't talking about it. What's Boston doing? You have the best hitting team in the league, and you add Schwarber, and you don't add a pitcher.
Right.
That just blows my mind, man. I mean, honestly, it just completely blows my mind that they would do that. I would definitely give Boston an F. And I think from what I'm understanding, they're going to play Schwarber at first base. So, DJ, you've watched Schwarber play. I mean, has he played first base? Has that ever been a thing?
No, if he's an outfielder or a catcher and a DH, I've never seen him play first for the Cubs. Maybe I missed it and he played 1 or 2 games there, but that I don't think he has. It's very rare, very weird. What about Bobby Dahlback? Isn't he their first baseman? So I don't know what they're –
Statistically, Boston has the worst first base production in the league. Yankees are 29th, actually. This is why I thought for sure Rizzo was going to go to Boston, is because they needed him pretty bad.
Though I'm shocked, though, that they did bring Anthony Rizzo because, I like Luke Voit.
Yeah.
I thought he's doing well.
And Cashman has basically admitted there's no path for Voit to play. He's said those words.
Really?
I'd heard the rumor that they were trying to trade Voit right at the deadline, and the rumor circling there for a minute was Judge was going to play center, Stanton was going to play left, and Voit was going to DH, and that's not going to happen. They're still, for whatever reason, married to Brett Gardner. It's the strangest thing. Greg Allen can come up and match, and it doesn't matter. I read on Twitter today, and this is how I feel about it too. The Yankees could field the all-star team, and somehow Brett Gardner would be in the lineup. That's the truth. I like Brett Gardner, but this is starting to drive me a little bit crazy. But, yeah, I think Voigt's going to be relegated to – he led the league in home runs last year, and he's going to be relegated to pinch hitter.
Yeah. There's a lot of Yankees on there that, like Clint Frazier.
Yeah. He gone.
I know he's probably, but you know what? To me, he always was like someone that always showed like a lot of like work, he would put the work in. Like DJ was always in college was always doing in the batting cages all hours. He was always trying to prove, and that's why I feel like Clint Frazier was like that. He's, and I feel bad for those guys that really don't really produce. And they put so much time and effort. You can tell, you know.
Unfortunate.
You know, but yeah, I don't know. Going to that question you asked me, DJ, I think we're in good standings with Anthony Rizzo. I think he brings a lot to the team, and I think they're, you know, especially the time coming up, they're you know, the playoffs coming up, and I think he's going to add a lot to it. So I like that. I like that.
DJ, I'm praying that this is my new Tino Martinez, and that I can have a Rizzo Yankee jersey to wear in your presence constantly. It's just all too good to be true. Something's got to give. It's just too good to be true for me on this deadline. But we'll transition away from that a little bit, DJ. And let's talk about several big trades that happened. So this was one of the more active and more fun deadlines ever.
Yeah, awesome.
It's crazy. Just all across the board, a ton of guys moving. So a big trade that happened, we'll stay in the AL East here for a second. Jose Barrios to the Blue Jays. And, hey, the Blue Jays, number one, needed Barrios, but they paid a high price. So talk about that.
Oh, yeah. David, of all the trades that were made, this is the best comeback that anybody got for a superstar. So there's a ton of superstars that went. To me, this is the best one. The Twins did well, man. The payback for Austin Martin, shortstop / outfielder, will be an everyday player for them, David. There's no doubt about that. And when you get a prospect like this is a legit guy. This is what I'm talking about. This is who Chris Bryant should be bringing back, and Rizzo and Baez. You know, Pete Crow Armstrong's got a chance to be that guy, but Austin Martin is that guy. And Simeon Woods is no joke either, man. And he's projected to be something special too, man. So the Twins gave up a ton to get. I'm sorry, the Blue Jays gave up a ton to get him. But, you know, they needed Barrios, you know, and this is a good trade for sure. These are trades I'm talking. This is what you look at in a trade, and you know both teams won this one. Okay, because they both got what they needed. So.
Let me tell you the difference in this trade and the Cubs trade. All the Cubs guys are free agents. And so you're buying with Barrios, I'm thinking a year, maybe two of control. That's the difference. So if the Cubs wanted that trade, they could have had it a year ago and decided to hold their cards. That's the difference. So at that extra 6 months you got to watch Chris Bryant, they could have had that. They could have had those guys just like that a year ago. So
yeah, but you can't break up a playoff team though. They were this close to, you know, they were a playoff team and for 6 straight years, and I don't know why you blow it up then. I mean, it came time, I guess, for it finally goes away. But you ride that pony as long as you can in Chicago, man. When you're winning, you can't just blow it up. And gotta keep going with it.
That was a good one. Ride the pony.
So let's. I agree with you, DJ. That was a good trade. Both teams won in that. Let's talk about the big daddy of all trades right here. One of the biggest trades you'll ever see at the deadline. Scherzer and Trey Turner to the Nationals for Keibert Ruiz, Josiah Gray, and 2 lower-level prospects. The rumor was Scherzer was a done deal to the Padres, and the Dodgers come circling and swooping in and take him away. So what do you think about that trade?
I think that I have a team to actually watch for the next 2 months now, which is exciting.
Bandwagon jumper, right, Billy?
Oh, right.
Win
Jumping
World
on a
Series,
bandwagon.
Dodgers fan.
Jumping on a bandwagon again.
I'm getting right up on that bandwagon and jumping on this one. Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler.
What are you drinking over there, man?
It's over. The Dodgers come in and swoop Trey Turner, who will now be their second baseman. Who do you play at short out of those two? I don't know. But
Center
you got
fielder,
2.
what I heard.
Third? What about
center fielder?
Oh, center field. Okay, yeah. See that? I didn't hear that. I wonder what there's a lot of different ways the Dodgers can go, man. They've got so many good players. And here's the thing, David, and I talked about this before with when the Padres just made the trade for Adam Frazier, and we were like, man, where's he gonna fit in? Well, Tatis might be out for the whole year. So that works itself out. These things have a way of working themselves out, you know. Bauer gets in trouble. Here comes Scherzer, you know, and the Dodgers didn't trade one of their biggest prospects, Josiah Gray, who made a couple starts for them, in that package to get Scherzer. And Josiah Gray is a good prospect. And Keibert Ruiz, man, this guy's going to be up in the show fast. One of the best catching prospects in the game. Every day on MLB Network, they're showing his stats. It seems like he's on there every day with a couple hits, homers. He's the real deal. So the Dodgers did give up their 2 best prospects in this trade. But when you get Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, who cares? And the Dodgers, like I said, they don't care about it. It's all monopoly money. They'll replenish. They'll just go for the talent right now. What an unbelievable trade. I think the Nationals won this trade as well. This is huge for them, getting all these prospects they got back. Very good trade for both teams as well.
So this is going to force me to work for the Giants even harder, DJ. I just can't help it. I've got to pull for the Giants. So, DJ, we got to talk about one of your favorite teams. What in the world are the Cardinals doing? I have no idea. They trade John Gant, who has been an awesome reliever. I mean, he's miscast as a starter, let's be honest, for the ghost of J. Happ. And then they trade for the ghost of your boy John Lester. I just don't even know what to say. I mean, the fact that they gave anything for him. I mean, John Lester's been a stud, man. I mean, I don't have anything against John Lester, but
not anymore.
You're way out of the playoffs. Lester's not been good in like 3 years. J. Happ's been getting shelled every start, and you give up a couple useful pieces to finish, 12 games out. Probably, I just don't understand it.
I have no idea. Maybe they're trying to keep the fans in the stands for the rest of the year. I honestly have no idea. Me and you were talking about this one too. The biggest head scratcher to me at the deadline was the Cardinals, and what are they doing? Like, I don't even get it. I don't even know what to say about that. None of that made any sense to me. You got Adam Wainwright, who's about 50 years old, and you bring in these 2 guys who are about 50. I don't get it. I mean, like you said, they got no shot at making the playoffs whatsoever, and now you got these 2 on your team. Head scratcher, man. I would not give up a single prospect for either of those guys. Much love to John Lester, but he's done, man. He really is. It's time. Yeah. And J. Happ has kind of proven he's done too. So made no sense to me whatsoever. I was completely baffled.
So my prediction for the Braves didn't come true. Chris Bryant, wow. I thought for sure was going to go there, but the Braves, they just went full on, man. Adam Duvall, Eddie Rosario. Somehow they got some value out of the Panda. That's really weird. Adam Duvall, Eddie Rosario, and Jorge Soler. So what did you think about the Braves' moves?
That was awesome. The Braves did an amazing job at the deadline. You lose Marcell Ozuna, Ronald Acuna Jr., and you replace them with these 3. That was fantastic. And we talked about it before the season started, Adam Duvall being an MVP candidate. He's been legit, man, and he's been up there, and he is a candidate. He'll finish in top 10 if he keeps on the pace he's going. Braves did a lot, man. They completely revamped that offense. They're going to get Travis d'Arnaud back at some point here soon. This team's starting to get back into full shape here, David, and they're going to make some noise, and they're not far out from the Mets. And the Mets getting Javi Baez. For a while there, the Mets were really quiet without Baez, and I was like, what are they doing here? Are they going to let the Braves just come in and steal this division? And, the Phillies made a little noise too, but I loved what the Braves did. I think they completely needed to do this, and they're going for it, man. And their GM said as much. So what'd you think of that, David?
Yeah, man. Awesome move. I would have liked to have seen them got Bryant seriously. He's better than those guys that they acquired. But, yeah, they got 3 of the best outfielders that were thought to be available and really didn't give up much, if anything, to get them. So, Billy, I got to ask you, man. You're there.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, I feel out of place over here. You guys are professional in what you do.
No.
What do you want to ask me?
I want to ask you about the Mets.
Oh, the Mets. Well, I mean, I watched them yesterday or the day before. I forget. But it was a good game, man. They came back in 10 innings. You saw that?
I did.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, that was a good game, man.
So are you
sitting there with my son eating some ice cream? Sprinkles, you can't forget that with the spray cream foam all over the place.
Go.
I tell you what, man. And then you got a microwave for like 10 seconds to make sure it's soft. But yeah, that Met game was phenomenal. So was the ice cream. Yeah.
So did you grow up hating the Mets, or like the Mets?
You know what? I never hated the Mets. My cousin was a big Mets fan, and we were all Yankee fans. And back then was totally different from now. Today, the Mets fans are jerks over here. I don't know why. It's like, oh, you're a Yankee fan? Yeah, I hate you. It's like, what? New York was New York, right? I mean, that's how it was over here. All of a sudden it changed when they started doing the interleague in 1996 with Jeter, and then the Yankees went in the World Series with the Mets. Everyone forgets about that, even over here. I mean, that was like life. That was like a dream, Yankees and Mets, and it actually happened. And then you ask these Yankee fans and everyone around here, hey, remember the Yankees and the Mets in the World Series? Well, what year was that? I don't remember that. What are you retarded? I mean, it's crazy.
Hey, I bet that was fun. I hadn't thought about that from just being around the city.
Yeah, man, it was big time. But actually, I was in college back then. I went in college at Liberty University.
Oh, wow.
In 96 to 90, I think 97. And then I transferred to Tennessee Temple. But I was there, and that was big time, man, Yankees. So I don't even know what we're talking about. Yeah, but that was good.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, let's run through a few more of these trades, and then we want to jump back over and talk to you a little bit more.
Listen, am I on over here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I am? I thought I'm behind the scenes because, I got to go to the bathroom, but I didn't want to step out and be rude. I mean, you guys are talking and talking. I was like, you know what? I don't want to walk. I don't know if people are like, what's wrong with this guy?
Hey, I spent a whole episode eating popcorn. Ask DJ about that.
Oh, he totally did, man. We had a former AAA pitcher on here telling stories, and David was just popping that popcorn, man, the whole time. Awesome.
I was starving, buddy. I was dying over here.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I was going to go into a coma.
Hey, what were you drinking there, man? I saw you drinking something.
Sweet tea out of my Nemo glass. You can't see that because of my background, but got me my Nemo glass. Got some sweet tea in there.
You sure?
You don't drink sweet tea, do you, Billy? Let's be honest.
Are you kidding me? I'm from Jersey, man. I'm not drinking none of that baby stuff.
I don't even know.
We drink the hard stuff. We drink the hard stuff, man.
Just drink it. Yeah, I know that Bigelow Tea is a huge Yankee sponsor, but I know when we talk about Bigelow Tea, we're talking about hot tea, which is just weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was never a tea person. My wife loves tea and coffee. My brother likes coffee. I hate coffee.
Coffee.
I don't know. I never got into coffee.
Just stick with the Mountain Dew, guys.
Dude, I'm on Monster drinks, Red Bull, Mountain Dew at work time. I love Mountain Dew. And we should do a commercial. We pay for it, man.
We should have a little break in the podcast, a little Mountain Dew.
Exactly. Everyone bring out their Mountain Dews. Maybe Dave, you could do a Snapple from West Virginia, Snapple tea or something.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, real quick, let's buzz through the last few of these trades. So, DJ, the Rays, what a weird deadline. So they trade a couple players away, namely Diego Castillo, which I thought was just so strange. Of course, they continue to win, so it's hard to argue with them. But we saw in Seattle where these trades that Dipoto likes to make really upset the team chemistry. You think there's danger in that happening with the Rays?
Not really as much. I think the Rays getting Cruz kind of put them over the top a little bit in that division. They're off. I mean, this team is phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. We've talked about them a lot on this podcast, but they gotten better. The Castillo trade was a little bit different. I give you that for sure. And the Mariners that was a really weird deadline for them too. I don't know what they were thinking, what they were doing there. That really didn't make much sense to me. But yeah, man, I totally, I'm with you on this. I think the Rays, and they've proven it. They jumped ahead, like Boss was saying a minute ago. They jumped ahead of the Red Sox, and they're in first place now in this division. And they may not look back from that. And it's going to be very fun to watch this division for the future here in the next couple months, because these four teams are no joke. They all got some pieces to go into the playoff mix, and they're all going to fight for it. So it's going to be very interesting, very fun to see what these Rays do with Nelson Cruz, man, and their lineup every single day. And I saw him hit a ball into the corner. It was really funny, man. I was sitting there watching it with Lindsay, he went in the right field corner and it bounced off the wall. And you couldn't see him, but the announcer's like, Cruz is heading to second. And I'm like, oh, what do you mean Cruz is heading to second? On a ball to the right field corner, he's going to get hosed. And sure enough, he's like our age, man. He can't run anymore. So he got hosed going to second. He legit is our age. So that's crazy, man. And but he's still mashing at 41, boss. I wish I was still mashing at 41.
Oh, that's crazy, man. Yeah, not only that, man, he's getting that big money too, man.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
he's cashing.
Yeah.
Man. He's a Hall of Famer very soon. He keeps this up, David.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, DJ, let me ask you this about the it just came to my mind. Remember when the Cubs won the World Series a while ago? What was it, like maybe 5 years ago?
Yep.
The year before that, when that guy reached into the crowd or whatever, the foul ball, then he started getting threatened. Was that big time over there or not?
Yeah, are you talking about Bartman?
Yes.
That-
they
yeah,
even
that-
they made it like an unsolved mystery on that, I think, too. They did. I think viewers can Google that, man. It was like something like crazy stuff. And that guy disappeared.
Yeah, he had to, man. He had to move to Florida and disappear, and like the CIA had to hide him, and it was crazy, man. He's legit.
Yeah,
like,
but then they
gone.
asked him back like a couple years after the thing. They asked him to throw a pitch, and he said no.
Nope. He will never show his face at Wrigley, man.
Really?
He will never. He's
Really?
got too many. Even after they won the World Series, you would think they let bygones be bygones. That 2003 team.
Yeah, you Chicago people are brutal over there. Man.
Seriously.
I thought New York was tough, but I don't know. Even Boston forgave that other guy. What was that other guy?
Oh, Bill Buckner. Yeah.
Yeah, they forgave him, and that was like after 40 years, I guess. Then he died. I don't know.
We'll wrap up our trade talk, DJ. The A's made some moves. I mean, we could go on forever about the moves that were made, but those were the ones we went over were the major ones. I mean, do you have any more? Do you want to interject about there?
I'm kind of scrolling through them all here, and there's some other. I just kind of want to say in general, and you talked about Schwarber already, and that was a good move for Boston, but I think that they could have done more than just Schwarber, and he doesn't really fit defensively in what they're trying to do, so that was kind of weird. But these things have a way of working themselves out. I think everybody's going to be fine. Everybody's getting better here. The White Sox made a lot of moves, and they got Kimbrel and Tepera and Cesar Hernandez. So they made a lot of different ads too. So now they got Kimbrel and Hendricks at the end of that rotation. That makes me want to throw up. So yeah, man, a lot of trades. I believe, David, if I'm not mistaken, you went over all these pretty much. I think we've hit most of the big ones. That was fun. Okay. Besides the Cubs part of it, that was a lot of fun because there was a lot of major trades that went on. It was a blast to see all that. No doubt about it. Every like 5-10 minutes there was a trade, and we haven't seen that in a long time. And all these experts and these baseball analysis guys, their head was spinning by the end of that deadline, man. You could see them all like just sitting back going, wow, and I don't know if it's going to be like that next year, if this was just one of those things, man, but that was a lot of fun. And like you talked about in the past, how this is one of your favorite days of the year. If you didn't like this day, there's something wrong with you, man.
Yep. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Let's transition here a little bit. So all you folks that have been
Hey, sorry, I had to angle the camera a little bit different. My wife's sort of undressed. It's okay.
hey, we'll get a lot of viewership.
Yeah, you'll up the views.
So we're going to transition here a little bit. A lot of people have probably watched this episode because Billy's been in hiding.
I don't know what she gave me. What is this for?
The earphones are in there.
Oh,
there
she gave
you
me a
go.
flower thing, and I said, "What is this for?" She said, "The earphones." I'm too loud, I guess. Here they are.
Nice.
And this is high tech. I tell you what, man.
You're moving up in the world, boss.
I tell you what, man. This is the best day of my life. Thanks, boys, for inviting me. This is like the action of the night. Usually, I'm painting till like 4 a.m.
Are you remodeling your house there, Billy?
No, I just changed the colors in it like every 3 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let me put this thing. Sorry, guys. I'm very not technical, like I said. I'm a mechanic, man.
Mechanics don't use computers. That's for
There you
sure.
go. Yeah. Yeah, we don't use computers on the mechanic. Ask Jay Leno that. All right.
There you go.
Oh,
Can you hear us
dude, I
now?
hear you guys perfect, man. This is like recording studio.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Billy, let's transition a little bit. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
you, man. So
I don't like
start
talking
out.
about this.
Talk about what you got you started in baseball. How'd you end up at Tennessee Temple? Just take us from high school on up.
All right, where do we start? Well, I was in a pastor's home for pretty much my whole life. My dad was, out of 3 kids, my dad was always on me about everything. You know, I don't know what it was. My hair would always stick up like alfalfa. Comb your hair. Everyone else has hair all over the place. You know, oh, my wife's bothering me. What do you want to do? All right, but I'm not wearing pants. Hey guys, I'm trying to move this. Can I move this? I guess you'll take a view of my.
There you go. You can multitask. That's pretty impressive.
Exactly. All right. This is my little living room, man. Look at it. Check this out, man.
There you go.
See
You
that?
painted that room too?
I actually did, yeah.
Nice.
I tell you what, I want to advertise for Harbor Freight, but if you guys paint, go get that the sprayer. $200, man, dude. I'm telling you, that thing works awesome.
I hate painting, so I would have to use something like that for sure.
Oh, dude, I even paint cars with it.
It'll change your life right there.
I hope it don't get me on. All right. I don't know. Is this better?
Yeah, you're good there, bud.
All right, cool, man. All right, so
All
I don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, so I was homeschooled all my life to probably about 5th grade to 12th grade, and I really wanted to play baseball. That was my thing. I mean, growing up, we played wiffle ball. DJ and Dave, I'm sure you guys did all that. We played wiffle ball nonstop during our homeschool lunchtime. Out there playing wiffle ball, man. It was our thing. And I told my dad, I really want to play, real baseball. And it took years. Finally, around 16, I got into a real baseball league, and it was new for me. I loved it, man. It was different, and then I enjoyed it. And then from there, I never played high school ball because we were homeschooled. So I never was in high school. So the first going to college was a big thing for me, playing ball. So I was pretty green, man, right from the get-go. So, but I mean, we can get into Tennessee Temple, man, and those I think if Coach Hall, if you're listening, man, I love you, Coach Hall, but I think if I was able to play more, I think I would, really produced, but that's basically how it began, man. I love playing. I still love playing. But
So are you a softball player now? We talk about this a little bit on the show.
I played softball a lot. I was even telling DJ that I started a softball league back in I think it was 2010 to about 2014 or 15. I started from scratch. I had over 200 guys. I did the standings. I did all the fields. I painted all the bases. I lined the fields. I was up there early every Saturday morning around 7, 8 in the morning. And I went home around probably 7:30 at night. I umpired for 4 years, and I still have guys calling me. Mel, you want to do that league? I can't. It did hurt my marriage, which, I was hardly ever home between work and, staying out and doing that. But it was some good times, man. Yeah, some good times doing all that.
So since we're talking about Tennessee Temple,
Yeah,
we gotta talk about a couple of funny memories. So you and DJ were involved in a memory with me and Brian Howard. I believe it was the spring of my freshman year, if I'm not mistaken. spring break, we had a couple days where we were there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe just the 4 of us were stuck there. Everybody else got to go home.
Yeah.
And me and Howard took you guys to the Chickamauga battlefield.
Wow,
and
man.
took you guys snipe hunting. And DJ, you can interject
Snipe
here.
hunting. Yeah. That
So-
was Yeah, DJ, talk about this, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. Donnie Cruz was with us too because we were in his Jeep.
Donnie Cruz, man.
So
Wow.
we had
These
watched the
these
movie.
Are great names.
You guys started it off by taking us. We went and watched the movie Sixth Sense, and I'm not a big scary movie guy, so I was freaking out already because of that. So we go watch the movie, and we get done, and it's got to be 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. We go out to the Chickamauga battlefield, and you guys are building up snipe hunting, all this snipe hunting that, and I'm like, what is that? And it's this little bird. It can't fly. You take a pillowcase, you go snipe, and you just walk around, and they're so stupid they can't fly. You throw them in a bag, and you see who can get the most. And I'm like, what is this on ESPN2 on Saturday morning? Because I slept in every Saturday morning, so it made sense to me. Hey, maybe it's on Saturday morning ESPN2, this snipe hunting thing. So I believed it. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I'm out there with David and Howard and Billy out there in the middle of a battlefield at night when I'm seeing ghosts because of that movie we just saw. And so I just remember this, man. Brian could not, run being our catcher. He wasn't very fast. So he took off running. And I dove into Donnie's Jeep with my feet hanging out of the vehicle.
I remember that
and
Jeep.
he took off, and Boss was left in the field, man.
Yeah.
The greatest
guys-
thing I've ever seen.
You guys left me, man, didn't you?
Oh, yes. And so when we circle back around to get you.
Sorry, I gotta move, man. I you know what it is? I don't know what it is. I feel myself echoing in this room, and I have tenants, and they have to wake up at 5 a.m. So what I'm gonna do is, I hope my see this nice red paint job, man. I
Ooh,
did.
you
Look at
did
that,
make
brick,
it
bro.
nice and red. That's
You
awesome.
Look at the ceiling, man. It looks brown and everything. Can you see me all right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
Billy, when we circle back around to get you.
Wow, look at that, man. That's intense, that background, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there were some explicatives. DJ, am I right?
There was many explicatives.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, coming from like the north, that's when I really begin to hate the South. You know what I mean? I was like, man, these
can
jerks
understand
from
that.
the South, man, they got all these scammers going on here. And but
You
yeah,
were
they
sitting
good times,
Indian
man.
style in the middle of the road, boss. Indian style.
Oh, that's
with
right,
your
dude. You
feet
guys have
arms
great
crossed.
memories. I
You were
totally
doing
forgot.
this number, and Donnie pulls up in his Jeep, and you were blah, blah.
That's right, man. That's right, man. Dude, I totally forgot, man. You guys have great memories. Wow. Yeah, I totally forgot, man. That was some good times, and hey, what can I say, man? We're
was
young
awesome.
and stupid, man. We're young and stupid. But you
One
know
of my
what? If they said something like that again, I probably would believe it. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I thought it was a Southern thing, and this is what they do, man. DJ, right?
I thought the same thing. I just was like, well,
I had no clue, man. That was good though, Dave. I
kind
got
of like cow tipping, I guess. Like you go cow tipping.
Yeah. That was good, man. That was good.
So the second thing I wanted to talk about, and this is actually kind of maybe a two-parter. So consecutive springs, we went south, meaning Panama City,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then later Clearwater. And I remember the Panama City trip, Billy got burnt as bad as I've ever seen anybody get burnt. I'm talking tomato red.
Yeah, dude, my skin, even today's day, I wear sunscreen every single day, man, without fail. Sunscreen. I will burn. I will burn like this red. I really will.
Well, the second thing, there was a lot that happened on that Panama City trip. I mean, there's a lot that we shouldn't go into, and we just won't.
Well, that's all right, man. I'm outside.
How we ended up on the strip in Panama City during spring break, I'll never understand. But the next year we went to Clearwater, and once again, Billy got burnt to a crisp. But I remember we were laying out there. It was me.
Yeah, but did
and
you
Billy
remember?
and
Did
Coach.
you remember that lady? That one lady. I don't know if I should say this, but that old fat lady on the beach. She was topless.
I
You know,
remember that.
we were running. It was like the whole baseball team was running down the beach, and that was like the first time I ever seen that. I mean, I never experienced that. Maybe that was south too, because usually our beaches over here are, they're not the best, man. They have broken bottles and everything on it,
Well, I just remember we were all sitting there, and this real pretty girl comes and lays her towel out like right beside us. And so we're sitting there. It's kind of awkward. Big Bob's with us, and Billy's
Big,
like,
Big Bob, who's that?
Coach Hall.
Coach? Oh,
And I was like, Billy, what are you doing? And it was like, dude, I'm gonna go witness to that girl. And I thought, yeah, right, I'm gonna witness to her. You wanted to ask her out or whatever. So sure enough, you did. You went straight over there and talked to her.
Did I? Yeah, I married her. No.
Oh man, I've laughed and laughed about that. It was just so funny.
Yeah, dude.
Pick up lines from the King James Bible.
Oh man, I tell you what, man. You know what it was? You know what it was?
Solomon.
I tell you what it was, guys. When you're homeschooled all your life, and all you were is around. There's some trucks, man. I got trucks coming by. I'm on like in the highway, Route 9 over here.
Are you snipe hunting right now?
Yeah. I see a snipe right now. Wow! All right, so I don't know, what were we talking about? That's how my mind gets, man. All these energy drinks. I drink 5 a day, man.
Oh,
for 5
man.
straight years. 5 straight years, yeah. I have like 600 milligrams of caffeine right now.
Oh my gosh.
Wow! I
Your
got
liver's
wired
gonna
up, boy.
explode.
You're right.
Oh
Right.
wow. So Billy, one other thing I wanted to ask you about, and I'll let DJ. DJ's got some questions for you over there.
All right.
Tell us about your Yankee fandom a little bit. So I always thought it was pretty cool. You're from New York, and so you got to see things from that perspective. So just tell us. I mean, did you grow up a Yankee fan? Who were your favorite players?
I did, man. I grew up. I remember I was 5 years old. I grew up because my dad was always watching the Yankees. My dad loved baseball. He was always watching the Yankees. My grandfather, and I just became a Yankee fan ever since 5. I used to dress up. In fact, every Yankee game, I used to dress up with my Yankee shirt on. I used to cut up socks as those pinstripes. You know those pinstripes of the socks, the old style.
Yeah.
I used to do that, and I never missed a game. I remember even crying. I used to pray every single day for the Yankees to win. And when that night it was against the Orioles, my cousin was a big Oriole fan. He's from Baltimore, and he was there that night. And I remember it was such a tense game, and the Yankees lost in like the bottom of the 9th or something. And I was crying my eyes out. I went outside and I was so upset, and I was telling God, I mean, it was crazy, man, but that's how diehard I was. I always paid for every game, man. But yeah, my
Who's your
favorite player, my
Yeah.
favorite player of all times, dude. You ready? Ready for this? Don Mattingly.
Attaboy.
Don Mattingly, man. I had posters of him, and my dad was old school, like as a preacher. He'd come in and say, "Take those off; those are worldly." I said, "What do you mean? This is Don Mattingly, man. I don't care. Put up another pastor or something." But yeah, man, he was the man. I love him even to this day. And I Dave Swor, I still say, I don't know why the Yankees never hired him as a manager.
We've talked about that, haven't we?
I hated Joe Girard. I hate Joe Girard because he took Don Mattingly's spot, man. That was not right. But Donnie baseball, man, all the way.
That's awesome. So more recent, what are some players that you like to watch?
Right now?
Yeah.
I like watching Aaron Judge.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? I don't think every time I watch him now, he strikes out.
Yeah,
So I enjoy watching him. I think I don't know. I enjoy watching baseball in general. I mean, I'll watch whatever's on baseball. I've been watching a lot of college baseball the last months when they were on.
Yeah, it's fun too.
I enjoy college baseball too. So
that's awesome.
DJ,
Hit him with some questions right here. This is going to
Hit me with some question. Hey, you know what? I'm going to show you this. I got a surprise for you guys. Well, it's not really a surprise, but I think you'll be fascinated with this. Hold on one second. Got to walk through the house again.
That is some red paint. I'm surprised you didn't get that on top of your head today.
Dude, I got it on my phone. Look at it. If you can see it. Can you see
It's
it?
everywhere.
Well, anyway, it's everywhere. All right, look at check this out, man. This is insane. All right, so you guys know my dad passed, so I told you that story, but I hit 2 college home runs. I don't know if you guys remember that. Probably not, because it didn't really mean nothing to you guys, but I
remember one of them for sure.
One of the balls right here. It was in my dad's. I gave it to my dad, and it was actually framed. It said, Happy Father's Day or something. But on it, I wrote, you can. I wrote.
Well, you can see it, yeah.
I wrote second college home run, 5-1, 2000 versus Tennessee Tech. Remember that? Remember that game?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
You remember that right there?
Yep.
Tennessee Tech. And I wrote on the bottom, "Thank you, Jesus." I used to
Nice.
say. But when I got in, yeah, man, I remember that was it. That was actually opposite field, right field, center field. I think it was around there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, this is a diamond baseball. But yeah, I still got the ball 21 years ago. So
That's awesome.
yeah, and there's another ball around, but since we were moving and my dad passed, everything's all up in the air. So I don't know where that one is, but it's around the house somewhere. But yeah, so that was back 21 years ago, man.
So speaking
that-
of 21 years ago, boss, I'm going to run through
Yeah.
a few names for you, and you give me one sentence about how these guys were as players, okay? You got this?
I'm not that smart, man. I don't know if I can come up.
DJ Cox.
Oh man, Brett Gardner, man. Definitely. Definitely.
Yes.
Every time I see Brett Gardner, I think of DJ, man.
Stop it.
I ain't kidding, man. Even before we started talking, from these, I always thought about that's definitely DJ. Yep. Good guy too, man.
David Swor.
Oh man, I always thought of Jimmy Key with David Swor.
I'll take that.
You remember Jimmy Key?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Back in the early 90s, man. I always thought about Jimmy Key. You always you just had the right stuff just to get it done. And I'm surprised you're not on the Yankees, man.
We'll go one more. Jeff Buznitz.
Oh, I was thinking about him. You know what? Awkward.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you know what? I guess all the way around, man. The pitching and I guess how he lived. I mean, he used to eat worms, didn't he? Was that
he
the one?
Sidearm pitcher from Kansas, so that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Sidearm pitcher from Kansas, and he had a sidearm. You're talking about like 3 inches from the ground, man.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't he like really low? He would really get low, man.
He would.
Yeah, but he was a good guy, though. I mean, one thing about him, back then we really didn't walk the walk of Jesus, you know what I mean? But one thing about him, he was definitely he would always, talk about Jesus, which I thought that was pretty good back then in college days.
Yeah. Good dude. I talked to him. He passed through town years ago. He was on the mission field actually in Indonesia. He started a baseball ministry and
really?
Back in Kansas now, as far as I knew. But yeah, definitely.
Oh, wow.
Awesome dude.
Wow. Yeah, he is. He's probably got a lot of good. I heard a lot of even like college guys that were wild in Tennessee Temple that are really, really involved in their churches, which is, I think, what's the other guy, Dave, in your church? My brother was telling me about him. He used to drive a Porsche back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Jet.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, he was a wild man. He was a maniac.
Pastor in Missouri now.
That's insane. Wow.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Good
how
for
time
him.
flies and how everything changes. But
yeah.
Yep.
Seems like we're all the same though.
Yeah.
right? It seems like if we went out and played ball right now, it would be like in college.
Yeah.
You know, nothing would have changed.
Just about a quarter of the speed, right, DJ?
Yo, got that
A lot
right,
of new
man.
ligaments to talk
Yeah,
about.
right.
Oh. No doubt.
You know, I had a plaque too. Did you guys get that? I'm sure you guys did. I meant to bring it. I totally forgot. That would have been a nice thing to have. It said something about Tennessee Temple. I don't know what it was. It's like a plaque. You got it at DJ, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, like you're talking about the letters that we got, the varsity letters and stuff.
No, it was actual plaque. Tennessee Temple on it.
Really?
The logo and everything. It was something about senior baseball. I don't know, man. I don't know why I got it. Maybe for warming up the bench for the other players. I don't know. You know? But
I hate to wrap it up, guys, but it's getting to be that time.
yeah,
sure.
hey, there was something else I wanted to say. I can't think of it. Crap. You know, when you go to bed, then you think of it.
It'll pop in your head later.
Exactly. Something about Tennessee Temple. Anyway.
Well, feel free to call us up. So it was pretty cool. I had a 646 phone call the other day, and it was like,
Yeah, dude.
like New
I was
York.
calling. I was like, man, answer your phone, man.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to talk to you guys, man. You guys really made my day the last couple of days.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
hopefully we all get to meet again, man. I don't know. Hey, how far is Hiles Anderson from you, DJ?
Probably about an hour.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I have some people that go over there, and they're always asking, "Oh, you gonna come over and watch us graduate or something?" I don't know.
Yeah, that's over the border in Indiana there. So
Wow.
Indiana part, not very far though.
And West
close.
Virginia isn't really that far. I think that's like 4 or 5 hours from me.
10 hours.
How many?
10.
Dude,
10 hours?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little further than
Wow.
you think.
Oh, well, that's far, man.
So we'll have to do it. We need to have a meetup in New York, man. We could do both stadiums. It would be the
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah,
That'd be
dude,
fun.
you know, I never went to a Yankee game at the new stadium.
Well, that's
Never.
got to change.
And I live
Gotta
40
do that.
minutes away. I live 40 minutes by a train. That's usually how I take it in, man. I wouldn't really drive there anymore.
Oh,
No
that's
parking.
nuts,
Then
driving
you
in
come
New York.
out to the game and your wheels are all taken off and sold. You never seen that? You go to the game and like people, all these cars are on cinder blocks. Really, man, that's true.
Yep.
I've experienced that, man. But man, I had something good, man. I can't think of it. I don't. I'm gonna think of it later. But
Well, Billy, it's good to have you on here.
yeah,
buddy.
man. It's good
awesome
to be
getting
back.
see-
Man. It's good to see you guys, man. You guys made my day, man. And you know, we'll all keep in touch, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's
You
do
know?
it. Hey, for all our fans out there, keep liking our page, keep sharing it. And until next time, DJ, another episode of Frenemies.
All right, my man. Have a good night.
Exactly.